Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. No Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast tonight, but we will have one tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time as we take a look at this rather bizarre looking upper air pattern and see what that means going forward. Again, that's tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow is Tuesday, 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. And as you kind of get a glance here at the WPC weather map, this is for Wednesday. Things are pretty quiet, and it's already started to quiet down. As we look at the watches and warnings, nothing, all gone. And except for a few pockets here and there where we've got some uh, wind issues out in the west and also some flooding issues out in the west, there are no other watches and warnings to speak of. We're still dealing with some leftover gloom and doom that has been with us pretty much for the last week. And as we take a look at the satellite loop, still a lot of leftover clouds. This storm system that went out to the east and is now south of Nova Scotia and moving away is doesn't have that strong dry push that you get from well-developed storms on the in the that move out. So as a result, the drying is taking its sweet time. And you can see here on the latest surface map, the low is well out to the east. There it is, southeast of Nova Scotia and moving away. There's a weather front up to the north. The air behind this storm system is chilly, but it's not especially cold. And more importantly, it's dry air. And as we check out the latest radars, a little bit of precipitation left over in southeastern New England. That should be gone pretty soon. And there's a little bit of snow shower activity going on in the upper peninsula of Michigan, extending to the west. And there's some rain off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. But just about the whole United States is quiet and dry. No severe weather to look ahead to over the next 3 days. No thunderstorms anywhere in the United States for the next two. And as we take a look at WPC's uh, precip forecast, no precipitation is forecast for eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England anytime in the next 7 days. The same goes for parts of the northern plains. The Gulf states a little bit different. Some heavier rains of an inch and a half or more along the Florida Gulf Coast and extending westward across Mississippi, Louisiana, into East Texas and Oklahoma. And very heavy rains for the coast of California, several to many inches from San Diego all the way up the coast into southern Oregon. The precipitation that'll be falling in the Sierra Nevadas, that's going to be heavy snow. And we also have anywhere from a half an inch to pockets of an inch and a half of liquid. And a lot of that is going to be snow out in the western part of the U.S. In the east, over the next 72 hours, there is a low probability, 30 to 40% chance for at least a couple of inches in the central Appalachians. That's been one of the few places that's actually been getting normal snowfall this time of year. And then when we look out into the west over the next 72 hours, you can see elevated risk for a few inches in the Sierra Nevadas, but nothing crazy. That really heavy precip will come late this week and going into the weekend. So here's what the upper air looks like, and it's very strange. We have a developing omega block, and we call that an omega block because it looks like the Greek letter omega. And you see what happens here with the northwest flow in the upper atmosphere in the eastern part of the United States. We've got a short wave and an upper low in Indiana on Tuesday night that drops so far southeast that it really has no impact here. There's another short wave that'll move through probably Thursday night, and maybe there'll be a rain shower or two with that, and that'll be followed by a shot of colder air over the weekend. And here's where you got that omega look, where you've got an upper low sitting off the coast of Nova Scotia. You've got this upper low that's back up through Texas, and you can see the strong jet that comes into California with a lot of moisture. And in between all of this is this big high that is up in south central Canada. So as long as we stay in this northwest flow, it's going to be very hard for weather systems that will be moving across the south to make any turn up the east coast. So I think we're going to be dry. That really pretty much says it all with the next 5 to 7 days. And as we just quickly roll through the GFS, there's really not a whole lot happening here. The storm system today goes out. We again have chilly but dry air. Here comes that system that's dropping southeastward into the southern Appalachians. That's going to move off the southeast coast. It's got no way to move northward, so it actually moves south of Bermuda, which doesn't happen too often this time of year. And then here comes a cold front that moves through Thursday night into Friday morning with maybe a rain shower, if that. And then a colder high builds in for Saturday and Sunday. In the meantime, you can see that California energy coming eastward with low pressure that's going to move across the deep south and the Gulf states and then heads off the southeast coast. But we've got a big, strong high that's in eastern Canada that's going to keep it from moving northward early next week. And at least for now, it looks like it'll get shunted out to our south. So, got had a ton of rain in the month of January, on top of a ton of rain in the month of December. So, a break of about a week or so, or maybe longer, of no precipitation is a good thing. And from what we see right now, no major storms to have to worry about. So that's all good. So we'll see you Tuesday night on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time.